So what do you do if you have depression, anxiety, or something else going on and you either don't want to use magic mushrooms or maybe you're in an area where you cannot use magic mushrooms? I happen to be in Japan right now. I cannot use magic mushrooms here, so I need to figure out some other ways to feel better every single day. And I'm going to share these with you on this mini-series, Mushrooms from Japan. Enjoy. So I had a panic attack in Japan, where I am right now. I'm going to tell you all about it, how I think it started, what happened, and then what I did to ultimately make myself feel better. I'm Dr. Dave, this is Microdose U. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and make sure you subscribe. Click that like button, share it any way you can to help the channel. Really, really appreciate it. So here I am in Japan. I'm in Atsugi City, and I'm alone in my hotel room. And I took my blood pressure yesterday morning, and it was fairly high. Well, let's say not hospital type high, but much higher than it normally is. My blood pressure usually runs pretty much in the normal range, and this was ran about 150 yesterday morning, and I started freaking out a little bit. Actually freaking out a lot. And I started spiraling downhill, taking it again, starting to wonder what's going on with my body. And I noticed I felt like I had to pee a lot. Like every few minutes I had to go into the bathroom and pee like a lot. Now I know that might be too much information for many, but it paints the whole picture, because when your cortisol levels are up, you produce much more urine. And it was scary. Like as I finished peeing, literally a couple minutes later I have to go into the bathroom again and pee a lot again. And I didn't know when this was going to stop. Before I tell you what I did and what happened, I'll tell you how I think I got into this situation. See, I've been in Japan now only for maybe 4 days or so. So it's the beginning of a month-long trip here. And of course the jet lag kicks in, and it's really, really bad. I mean, it's harder to sleep, circadian rhythm is way off. So that's one thing. So lack of sleep is definitely a problem. It causes inflammation, causes increase in cortisol levels. You're in kind of a fight or flight mode, and it's definitely not good to be in that long term at all. Combine that with, had a little situation with my father-in-law here. He's got a prosthetic hip, and the other night we're at dinner at his house and he dislocated it, and here they start to try to fix it, like try to move it back into place. And I went online and it said, no, you can't. And I'm sorry if it's a little windy out here, I'm outside in the park. They said, no, you can't do that. That can cause a medical emergency. You've got to call 911, or the equivalent of 911 here in Japan, and get him to a hospital where he can be seen. So we did that. It was a whole ordeal. They finally came. The ambulance came. Since it's Golden Week here, which is a holiday week, it was hard to find a hospital that would actually accept him. So the ambulance is sitting outside the front of his house for a good 30 minutes before they finally found a hospital that would accept him. So that definitely caused a lot of anxiety on my end, and that didn't help things. But also, I'd been in a situation where we were having dinner at their house, and there was a lot of alcohol, and I wasn't drinking much water. And even though I don't drink a lot of alcohol, I just didn't drink enough water. Really, I discovered I was really dehydrated. Also, yesterday morning before this panic attack, I had a couple cups of coffee on an empty stomach at the hotel breakfast place. And their coffee here in Japan is actually really good. This hotel had strong coffee. I think, as it turned out, I think it might have been more on the espresso level. I'm not really sure. Maybe I pressed the wrong button. But I had the jitters, I had the shakes, and I'm sure that contributed to my anxiety, my panic attack, my high blood pressure, everything. It was like a perfect storm. All this stuff kind of came together, and I felt awful sitting in my hotel room. My wife is over at her parents' house, and I'm kind of alone, and I don't know what to do. And I don't have any plant medicine here. I don't have anything that I could, anything like cannabis, or I don't have anything like psilocybin. I can't bring that here. If I get caught, I'll be thrown in jail, and I can't take that chance. So I don't have anything that normally back in the U.S., if I would have used for a panic attack. And I mean, it's very rare. I have not had any kind of anxiety attack or panic attack since way before I started microdosing. So this is like brand new to me. And you might say, well, since you're in Japan, you haven't been microdosing, that might be the reason. Well, probably not. I think, again, it was a perfect storm of all these things that just came together. The dehydration, the alcohol, the anxiety from my father-in-law, the jet lag, the lack of sleep, the circadian rhythm being way off. And by the way, something else I just thought of, I probably had some social anxiety coming up because I was about to, in a little while, leave to go over to meet all of my family. There was going to be some company over there. It was going to be probably like a 3 or 4 hour meetup with people and eating, and everybody's going to be drinking. So I'm sure I had some social anxiety built into that as well. So again, perfect storm. It all just came together and caused this horrible, horrible feeling, panic attack, which I really didn't know what to do. So I've got a little exercise I resorted to. It's kind of my default thing to go to if I ever start feeling not exactly right.
So I literally just had one of our Patreon members send an audio recording in to me. And I know I talk about Patreon a lot because it's just an incredible community that we have here at Microdose U. But better than me talking about it is what Holly just sent me via audio. I'm going to play it for you because I think you really need to hear this. So let me go ahead and I'll listen along right with you.
I just wanted to say that I love Microdose U. My name's Holly. I've been a member of Patreon now for 6, 7+ months, somewhere around there. And I've been microdosing myself for about 2.5, almost 3 years. And I really like Dr. Dave's style. And on a whim, I thought, you know what? It's only $12.50 a month. So why don't I just give this a whirl and see what it has in store? Really, I didn't have any expectations going into the Patreon group, but after being in the group for really a short period of time, it's really transformed everything for me. It's helped so much in my life and just making connections with others. We do have the live meetings and just getting to know others who may be in a similar boat, and a lot of us are. It has been very transforming. When I had joined, I think subconsciously, I was looking for some sort of community or at least a group of folks to chat about microdosing and psilocybin and life and all of that. And that was one of the other missing pieces in my life. I had mentioned to a few others, friends, maybe family about microdosing, but there was only a certain conversations we could have around that. And I really wasn't able to get into depth with friends and family about that. But with this group, it's another story, which is great. So we have a wonderful community, so much information, and even more than I had expected or even had hoped for. So I encourage you to look into it further. You never know what you don't know until you know, and just checking it out and seeing what it has to offer.
Holly, I want to thank you so much for your kind words. I'm truly humbled by what you said about our Patreon community there. And I'm going to recommend to anybody right now, listening or watching, now's your time. Now is truly the time to change your life. Don't wait another minute. The link is always in the show notes, and the link is always on my website, microdoseu.com. That's microdose with the letter U on the end of it, microdoseu.com, or right here in the show notes. Please join us because your life really will change. And that's not from me, that's from Holly.
So I've got a little exercise I resorted to. It's kind of my default thing to go to if I ever start feeling not exactly right. And it's simply a breathing exercise. So I started doing it. It's not very difficult at all. I'll share with you right now what I did, because if you're ever in a situation like this, you might want to try this. So I breathe. I actually set a metronome. I've got my computer or my phone. I set a metronome to like 60 beats per minute. So like dun, 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 something like that. And I would breathe in through my nose for 4 seconds. Through my nose, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I would hold it for 4 seconds. Hold it, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I would let it out, breathe out for 6 seconds. Very slowly, again, to the metronome. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathing out. Then I would hold everything, not take a breath back in for 4 more seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a whole cycle. Breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 6, hold for 4. Start over. And I must have done this for about at least 5 minutes. And and 5 minutes in a breathing exercise, that seems like a long time to be breathing like that. But I knew that was, or I felt at least, that was my only way out. Again, I didn't have any meds, I didn't have anything with me, so I felt this breathing exercise was my only way out. So I did this breathing exercise for at least 5 minutes. And something I did forget to tell you, I went out and got a couple of liters of electrolyte water. and I started consuming this electrolyte water like crazy. Like, not really fast, I wasn't gulping it down, but very slowly, but just drinking a lot of water. And between the electrolyte water and the breathing exercise, I do believe in a fairly reasonable amount of time, I started feeling quite a bit better. It's really interesting how hydrating and breathing without any other meds or anything else can make you feel better from a panic attack or anxiety attack. It wasn't diagnosed, so I don't know exactly what to call it, but let's say it was some type of an attack that was not good at all. And I'm not used to these things. I'm usually like really chill, no anxiety these days, no nothing. But here again, all these things came together. The social anxiety, the dehydration, the alcohol, the coffee, the caffeine, lack of sleep, circadian rhythm being totally off. Did I mention everything? Well, there's probably more, but all this stuff came together to create this crazy panic attack. So then I decided, okay, I'm gonna get in a taxi and go over and meet the family and we'll hang out. And I hung out there for about 4 hours, and I'll tell you something, I did feel better. I mean, I can't say that I was 100%, but I did feel better. And then after a certain amount of time, I guess it was about 4 hours, I did go back to the hotel. I just made it a point to get the best night's sleep ever. And I wound up falling asleep probably about 7:30 p.m., something like that, 7:30 p.m., 8 p.m., and I slept through the night. I did get up 1 or 2 times to pee, and my knee hurt, so I got up and taken a leave for that. But other than that, I really think I slept through the night pretty darn well. And in the morning, I woke up and I did feel pretty good. Now, I laid off the caffeine. I didn't want to start the morning with caffeine and then have the same thing cycle over and over and over again. I didn't want to do that. So I laid off the caffeine, and right now it's about midday. It's not even noon yet. And I'm happy to say I am pretty sure I totally recovered from this panic attack. Not pretty, not fun, but the good thing is I believe it was totally reversible. I was able to reverse it with simply drinking, rehydrating, no more caffeine, no alcohol, and simple breathing exercise. And I think I did pretty well, and I'm being very careful. Like I said, I'm not gonna have any caffeine today, no alcohol, and I think I figured my way out of this thing. But for that short period of time, it was very, very uncomfortable and very scary. I will follow up and let you know how the rest of the day went, the next couple of days, but for right now, I think it's a beautiful day out here, and I think I'm going to be okay. We've also got to maintain a positive attitude, because if I think I'm going to be going into another attack, then I probably will. So I'm pretty sure. I mean, I know. Let's say I know I'm going to be totally okay now. I've got a brand new episode of Microdose U that comes out every Wednesday. I'd love for you to join me. We talk about everything: how to microdose, the most commonly asked questions about microdosing psilocybin. We talk about microdosing LSD. We talk about SSRIs, which are Lexapro, Prozac, all those types of things, in conjunction or in addition, or getting off of them and microdosing. We talk all about that. I'm basically here to tell my story about what happened to me and how I started with this 5 years ago and how it totally changed my life. So I'm glad you're with me. Again, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, make sure you subscribe, make sure you don't miss an episode, make sure you turn on your notifications. And I want to tell you one thing: you are valuable. You are very valuable to me as well as everybody here at Microdose U. You matter a lot. I'm Dr. Dave. I'll see you next time.